You are working hard, you are grinding, you are sacrificing your sleep, your health, your time. Why? You tell yourself, I'm doing this for my children. I want them to have it easier than I did. I want to build a legacy. It sounds noble. It sounds like love. But deep down, in the darkest corner of your mind, you know the truth. You feel a hesitation. You look at the trust fund babies of the world, the driftless, anxious, addicted children of the elite, and you feel a sickness in your gut. Your instinct is screaming at you. Ease is the enemy. You already know this. You don't need a psychologist to tell you. You know that your strength came from your struggle. You know that your empire was built on your hunger. So why are you trying to steal that hunger from your children? Why are you trying to remove the very fire that forged you? This is the curse of inheritance. It is the historical inevitability that wealth destroys the recipient if the recipient has not built the muscles to carry it. There is a proverb in almost every culture on earth. In America, shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. In China, wealth does not pass 3 generations. In Brazil, rich father, noble son, poor grandson. Why is this pattern universal? Is it bad luck? No, it is biology. Let's look at the butterfly paradox. You know the story. A man sees a butterfly struggling to break out of its cocoon. It is fighting. It is exhausting itself. The man feels pity. He wants to help. So he takes a pair of scissors and gently cuts the cocoon open. The butterfly falls out. It is free, but it has a swollen body and shriveled wings. It crawls around, unable to fly, and soon it dies. Why? Because the struggle to escape the cocoon is what forces the fluid from the body into the wings. The resistance is the mechanism of growth. Without the fight, there is no flight. By helping, the man killed the butterfly. By helping your children avoid struggle, by giving them the house, the car, the job, the safety net, you are cutting the cocoon. You are creating a human being with shriveled wings. You are creating a victim. You know this. You have felt the pride of earning your first dollar. You remember the taste of that cheap food you bought with your own sweat. It tasted better than any Michelin star meal you buy now. Why? Because it was yours. It was proof of your competence. When you hand your child a life they didn't earn, you are robbing them of that proof. You are giving them the imposter syndrome as a birthright. They walk into the room and they know in their bones that they are frauds. They know they are only there because of your name, and that knowledge eats them alive. It turns into anxiety. It turns into depression. It turns into resentment toward you. Think about the dopamine reward loop. We talked about dopamine before. It is the fuel of action. Action, struggle, success, dopamine. This is the holy cycle. This is what makes a human happy. Inheritance breaks the chain. Reward, 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 no action. The brain receives the prize without the hunt. This destroys the dopamine receptors. It creates anhedonia, the inability to feel joy. A child who gets everything for free is not lucky. They are chemically castrated. They cannot feel the high of achievement because they have never achieved anything. So they look for other highs, more extreme highs, drugs, gambling, reckless driving, perversion. They are trying to feel something because you stole their ability to feel the simple joy of work. You are the architect of their destruction, but listen to me. You are also the architect of their salvation. You have the power to change this, and you know how to do it. The answer is already inside you. It is the voice that says, let them fall. It is the voice that says, let them figure it out. That voice is not cruelty. That voice is true love. You must understand the difference between resources and capabilities. Money is a resource. Grit is a capability. If you give resources without capabilities, the resources will be squandered. If you give capabilities without resources, the resources will be acquired. You know this. You started with nothing or very little. You had the capability. You built the resources. If you leave your child $10 million but zero grit, the money will be gone in 10 years. If you leave your child $0 but iron grit, they will be a millionaire in 10 years. So why are you obsessing over the trust fund? Why are you obsessing over the tax loopholes? You are focusing on the wrong asset. You are hoarding dead fish instead of teaching them to fish. And deep down, you know it's a mistake. You feel the anxiety every time you hand them the credit card. Trust that feeling. That is your primal code warning you that you are violating the laws of nature. The rich kid is a tragedy. They live in the shadow of the giant. Imagine growing up under a massive oak tree. You are a sapling, but the oak tree is so big, it blocks all the sun. It drinks all the water. Its roots take all the soil. The sapling cannot grow. It remains stunted, pale, weak. You are the oak. Your success is casting a shadow over your children. They cannot find their own identity because your identity is too loud. Oh, your name's son. They hear this every day. They are a footnote in your biography. Do you want that for them? To be a footnote? Or do you want them to write their own book? To write their own book, they must leave the shadow. They must go out into the sun. And the sun burns. The sun is hot, but that burn is what makes them grow. You know what you have to do. It scares you. It goes against your protective instinct. You want to shield them. But you must realize, safety is not safe. Safety is atrophy. Danger is growth. You have the strength to do the hard thing. You have the strength to say no. You have the strength to cut them off. Not because you hate them, but because you believe in them. By cutting the safety net, you are saying, I trust that you are strong enough to fly. By keeping the safety net, you are saying, I believe you are weak and will fall without me. Which message do you want to send? You already know the answer. The path is clear. It is painful, but it is the only path that leads to life. Everything else leads to the graveyard of potential. Let's step inside your child's mind. You think you are giving them a head start. You think you are giving them freedom. But if you look closely, if you look past the expensive clothes and the Instagram smiles, you will see the fear. You will see the imposter syndrome. Deep down, every human being craves one thing: competence. We need to know that we are capable of surviving on our own. It is a biological imperative. When you solve every problem for your child, you are telling them you are incompetent. You don't say it with words. You say it with checks. You say it with phone calls to get them out of trouble, and they hear it loud and clear. They walk into a room and they feel like a fraud. They know that if the money disappeared tomorrow, they would be nothing. Do you know how terrifying that is? To be fully dependent on an external resource you didn't create. It creates a deep, rotting insecurity. They become defensive. They become arrogant. Arrogance is just a shield for insecurity. They flash the watch because they have no character to show. You know this feeling. Remember when you were starting out? You were scared, but you were alive. You knew that if you ate, it was because you killed. That pride is the foundation of your mental health. Your child doesn't have that. They are eating your kill. They are scavengers in designer clothes, and they hate themselves for it. Let's talk about the relationship trap. This is the most heartbreaking part. When your child goes out into the world with your money, they become a target. They attract predators. They attract parasites. Does she love me? Or does she love the vacation house? Is he my friend? Or does he want me to invest in his startup? They can never know the answer. They are robbed of the purity of human connection. They become paranoid. They start testing people. Or worse, they accept that they are unlovable and just pay for company. They surround themselves with yes men and sycophants who drain them dry. You worked hard to give them the world, but you actually gave them a world where no one is real. And you see this happen. You see the friends your children bring home. You feel that intuition in your gut, primal radar telling you something is off. Listen to that radar. You are right. Those people are not friends. They are employees of your child's lifestyle, and your child knows it, but they are too lonely to cut them off. Now consider the chemical bankruptcy. We talked about dopamine, but let's apply it here. Ambition comes from a deficit. You want something because you don't have it. If your child has everything, the best car, the best apartment, the best travel, before they are 25, what is left to dream about? You have stolen their dreams by fulfilling them too early. This is affluenza. It is a spiritual boredom. When normal life offers no challenge, the brain seeks abnormal challenges. This is why rich kids overdose. This is why they crash cars. This is why they get involved in scandals. They are not bad kids. They are bored kids. They are desperate to feel a spike of adrenaline because their baseline life is a flat line of comfort. They are screaming for a boundary. They are screaming for a no, because a no gives them something to fight against. A no gives them a purpose. You might think, but I want them to be happy. Happiness is not the absence of problems. Happiness is the solution of problems. If you remove the problems, you remove the happiness. You are giving them pleasure, not happiness. Pleasure is cheap. Pleasure is temporary. Pleasure is a drug. Happiness is a byproduct of struggle. You know this. Look at your own life. Your happiest moments were not when you were sitting on the beach doing nothing. Your happiest moments were when you finally cracked the deal, when you finally built the product, when you overcame the crisis. Why do you deny your children that euphoria? There is a concept called benign neglect. It sounds harsh, but it is the secret of the aristocracy. The old money families, the ones who keep their wealth for 300 years, they do not coddle. They send their children to boarding schools. They make them play tough sports. They make them work in the mailroom. They practice strategic hardship. They artificially recreate the struggle. They know that the iron must be forged in fire. You, the new money, you want to be the cool dad or the nice mom. You are trying to compensate for the time you spent working. You feel guilty for being absent, so you pay them off with freedom. Stop it. Your guilt is their poison. You cannot buy your way out of parenting. Parenting is the act of preparing the child to leave you. If they cannot leave you, financially or emotionally, you have failed. But here is the good news. You can fix this. You are the source of the money, which means you are the master of the valve. You have the power to turn it off, and your child, believe it or not, is waiting for you to turn it off. They are waiting for you to step up and be the alpha. They are waiting for you to say, enough. Deep down, they want the challenge. They want to prove to you and to themselves that they are not just your shadow. They have your DNA. They have your potential. It is just buried under layers of cotton wool. If you strip away the wool, the wolf is still underneath. You are afraid they will hate you. Let me tell you the truth. They might hate you for a month. They might hate you for a year. But if you continue to enable them, they will hate you for a lifetime. And worse, they will hate themselves. The hate of a spoiled child is temporary. The respect of a self-made adult is eternal. You are playing the long game. You are investing in their character, not just their comfort. Think about the safety net versus the hammock. A safety net is there to catch you if you fall from a great height, so you don't die. A hammock is there to lay in and sleep. You have turned the safety net into a hammock. They are not taking risks because they are too comfortable swinging in the net. You need to cut the hammock. Let them hit the ground. The ground is hard. It hurts, but you can push off from the ground. You cannot push off from a hammock. You know I'm right. As you listen to this, you are thinking of specific moments. You are thinking of the times you said yes when you should have said no. Don't beat yourself up. You acted out of love, but now you have new information. Now you understand the biology. Love without discipline is just spoiling. Discipline without love is tyranny. You need both. You need the tough love. The world is going to be hard on them. The world doesn't care about their last name. The market doesn't care about their feelings. If you don't toughen them up, the world will break them. It is your job to introduce them to reality in a controlled environment before reality introduces itself in an uncontrolled one. You are the trainer. You are the coach. A coach doesn't run the lap for the athlete. A coach screams at the athlete to run faster. Be the coach. So you are ready. You are ready to stop being a bank and start being a father or mother. You are ready to stop raising a parasite and start raising a predator. How do you do it? You cannot just pull the rug out without a plan. That creates chaos. You need a system. You need a family constitution. This is not a legal document. This is a spiritual contract. It states clearly who we are and what we do. Most families have no code. They just drift. You need to call a family meeting, not a dinner. A meeting, boardroom style. You look them in the eye and you say, the rules have changed. The free ride is over. We are building a dynasty, and a dynasty requires competent operators, not passengers. Here is the protocol. Rule 1. The transparency. Shock. Stop hiding your money. Stop pretending you are middle class to keep them humble, and stop flashing wealth to make them proud. Both are lies. Show them the numbers. Open the books. But here is the twist. You frame the money not as our money or your inheritance. You frame it as the family energy. You tell them, this capital is a tool. It has a job. Its job is to grow and to serve the mission. It is not for buying toys. It is not for your lifestyle. If you consume the seed corn, we all starve. You demystify the wealth. You turn it from a magical, limitless pot into a finite resource that requires management. When they see the operating costs, the taxes, the risks, they start to respect the beast. They stop seeing it as a toy and start seeing it as a responsibility. Rule 2. The service mandate. The grunt work. This is non-negotiable. Before your child joins the family business or before they get a cent of serious money, they must work in the dirt. I don't mean an internship at your friend's hedge fund. I mean a job where they are invisible. A job where they get yelled at. Waiter, construction laborer, customer service, delivery driver. They need to feel what it is like to trade time for minimum wage. They need to know how hard it is to earn $100. They need to serve others. They need to be humbled. If they treat a waiter badly, it's because they have never been a waiter. Force them into the trenches for at least 2 years. If they refuse, they get nothing. Zero. You are not being cruel. You are teaching them the physics of the economy. You are teaching them empathy. A general who has never been a soldier is a dangerous fool. Don't raise a foolish general. Rule 3. The matching principle. Never just give money for a project. If your son wants to start a business, do not write a check for $100,000. Tell him, go out, raise $50,000 from strangers, or earn $20,000 yourself. Then I will match it. Why? Because when they have their own skin in the game, their brain works differently. They check the risks. They work harder. They value the capital. If it's all your money, they will gamble it. If it's their money, plus yours, they will protect it. You are not a charity. You are an investor. Act like one. Force them to pitch you. Force them to have a business plan. If the plan is garbage, say no. The rejection is more valuable than the cash. It teaches them to think. Rule 4. The Warren Buffett rule. Leave your children enough money to do anything, but not enough to do nothing. This is the golden ratio of inheritance. If you leave them $50 million with no strings attached, you have cursed them. They will do nothing. Calculate the cost of a safety net, basic housing, health, education. That is what you provide. The rest, the luxury, the travel, the Ferraris, that is on them. You tell them, I have provided the launch pad. You must build the rocket. This removes the existential panic of poverty, but it keeps the hunger for achievement. It is the perfect balance. Safety, hunger. Rule 5. The cutoff date. Ambiguity is torture. Will dad pay for this? Maybe. This keeps them in a state of childish dependency. Set a date. On your 25th birthday, or 22nd or 30th, the bank of mom and dad closes completely. No rent, no phone bill, no insurance. You're on your own. You tell them this years in advance. You prepare them. And when the date comes, you hold the line. Even if they cry, even if they fail, even if they have to move into a crappy apartment, let them. That struggle is their cocoon. When they figure it out, and they will figure it out, because they are your children, they will feel a surge of pride that no money could buy. They will realize, I did this. I am capable. That moment is the birth of an adult. Rule 6. The values inheritance. You are obsessed with transferring your financial assets. But what about your intellectual assets? What about your moral assets? Write down your principles. Tell them the stories of your failures. The money is the least valuable thing you own. Your wisdom is the gold. But you don't share it. You just lecture them. Stop lecturing. Start mentoring. Bring them into the decision-making process. Here is a problem I have at work. What would you do? Treat them like junior partners, not like pets. Challenge their logic. Sharpen their minds. Pass down the software of success, not just the hardware of cash. The vision of the steward. Ultimately, you are trying to create a steward. A steward is someone who honors the past and builds for the future. A steward does not say mine. A steward says ours. You want them to look at the family name and feel a burden of honor. I must not let this fail. I must add to the pile, not subtract from it. This requires a shift in identity. They are not trust fund kids. They are keepers of the flame. This gives them purpose. And purpose is the antidote to the curse. Purpose saves them from the drugs. Purpose saves them from the boredom. Purpose saves them from the despair. The final ultimatum. You are scared to do this. I know. You are afraid they will reject you. But look at the alternative. Look at the 40-year-old child who is still asking for money. Look at the lawsuits. Look at the overdoses. Look at the wasted lives. That is the ghost of your inaction. If you love them, if you truly love them, you will be strong enough to be hated. You will be the villain in their story for a brief moment so that they can be the hero of their own story for the rest of their lives. Take the scissors away from the cocoon. Step back. Watch them struggle, watch them fight, and then watch them fly. It is the hardest thing you will ever do, and it is the greatest gift you will ever give. The money will fade, the empire might fall, but the character you build in them, that is eternal. That is the only true inheritance. Do not fail them. Close the bank, open the world.